Italia.
Welcome guys to the Redline tuning channel, where you can have VR6's that don't even run. Two VR6's. What must I say? Two VR6's, not one of them running. Look at this one. This one here, I don't even have the key. This one, it let me down on the side of the road. This little, it's called the fuel pump relay. So it just stopped while I was driving. Oh, cut out, doesn't start, got towed. Came back to the shop. First put an engine speed sensor, because it's usually engine speed sensor, and then it still didn't start. Then did another diagnostic, and we found out it was still reporting fuel pump relay. So long story short, we got a new fuel pump relay, fitted it into the car. Wonderfully the car started, and then about 5 kilometers down the road, off again. So towed for the second time. So it's so far in the last 3 days, it's cost me about 1,000 rand just in towing, you know. Luckily it was only Tweenie, not too far away. So, but yeah. So this is my Friday story, guys. This is my Friday story. There's drags tomorrow at Desi, and yeah, the one that you would think is just going to be fun because I've just spent all this money on it and it's supposed to be 100%, is currently not starting, even with a brand new relay. So unfortunately, the next thing is the fuel pump. So unfortunately, no stock locally on the fuel pump. So this one is standing. And I could just say, take the fuel pump out of that one and put it into this one. And you say, yes, you can do that. It's the same pump. Right. Wrong. Because that pump, I've modified and I've put a Golf 2 GTR pump into the housing for higher volume for turbocharged. And let me tell you, the job to fit that thing into the tank, I'm not even taking it out. There's no way. So it's clipped in, it's in the tank. So unfortunately, it seems that neither of them is going to be running. So now this one, the Vuravors that you guys haven't seen too much because I've been working on the green one. The Vuravors, let me tell you my little sad story of the Vuravors. This is my sad story on the Vuravors. As you can see, a couple of ring glands are missing, and yeah, you can see a little ring is burnt off. So if I tell you the story, you're all going to say, oh, what an idiot. And I say the same thing to myself. And you heard my wife tells me the same thing. So anyway, so this was the story. I did the conversion, put the turbo on, running with the small injectors. I was driving it around, boosting it here and there a little bit. I knew it was lean, no problem. Then we entered it in the drags in, when was it? November last year? Yeah. November. And so then we said, no, well, we've got the 1600cc injectors. Let's put the injectors in and we'll run racing fuel and we'll turn up the boost. So put the new injectors in the night before, you know how it always goes, not ready. We jammed on it, we got it running, we got the injectors in, and we got it tuned. I had it on like 0.4 bar. It was making about 250 kilowatts on the wheels with the big injectors. Pretty stoked. So right, I was stoked. Now this car's making 250, that's going to be fine. We're going to go do one run. Okay, right, let's put the boost controller. First mistake. Okay, so got the boost controller out of the box, pretty self-explanatory. T-piece, one pipe running into the car, so on and so forth, a little tap. Right, put the boost controller in, still on the dyno, do a run. So now by this point I'm only really wanting to go to 0.8. 0.8 was fine. So laptop is in, I can see the boost, I can see everything. Do a run, boosting 0.8. Fine, made 280 kilowatts on pump fuel. So now I'm very happy. Right, so now we're stoked, everything's cool. What are we going to do next? Let's take it for a spin in the street. Second mistake. Because let me tell you, this was at about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. So we'd been tuning for probably about 2 hours on the car. So we were pretty tired, and you know, my friend Keith Keith, I should have listened. I should have listened, but I didn't, because I was super excited, because now I wanted to feel the first time I would be able to turn up the boost, because I've been driving it for so long with the small injectors where I couldn't floor it. You know, for the first night we had it, I said to him, no, I have to take it in the street, let's see how it feels. Well, it felt flippin' amazing. If I tell you, this same piece of cock Woodavos here that you see here was wheel spinning in 3rd gear. You know, it was snap crackle popping, but I still had pump fuel, so I said, oh no, at 0.8 just get a bit of snap crackle pop. But it turned out the snap crackle pop turned into a snap crackle piston or 2. So inevitably now, we didn't know anything. We drove the car in here. If you look there on the floor, those are still the wheel marks. Those are still the wheel marks from that same car on that same night from December. And so basically it went from there, where I did that nice wheel spin into the shop and then parked it off. Super excited, everything's hundreds, cars sounding amazing, no smoke, cool. Not cool. Next morning, like 6:30, we're all here in the shop opening up, getting the car ready, got the race fuel, got everything. When I started it, just from the breather there, the little smoke puffs. And then I was like, what? You know? So then we let it run a bit and the smoke is coming. So I said, no, hey, come on. So I went, we drove it to the drags, and then, you know, because I knew there was a boosting problem the night before, I heard it pinging, so, you know, I didn't have a boost gauge in. Sorry, I'm not a boost gauge guy. I had the laptop in, you know, it was boosting 0.8 on the laptop. Why must I think? But no, it was going like hell because it was boosting like hell. 1.5 bar. So on the way to Desi on that Saturday morning, the first time I put my foot down, snap crackle pop, and the gauge is like on its max, you know, and I'm thinking, oh well, now I know exactly what happened. And then only to find there's a little jet in the T-piece, and that little jet, it was my mistake. You know, I'm obviously supposed to drill it out, because now the pipe was coming from the engine, telling it I want air to go that way, but no, now there's a point something millimeter jet there. So now there's nothing going there to the wastegate. So the wastegate is just boosting full pressure. So there we are on the way to the drag, get to Desi, geez, like now it's smoking from the breather and whatever. So I disconnect the boost controller. I say, okay, at least we're here. Let's at least get the picture. Let's at least go one down the track. We'll do it, you know. So inevitably, I ended up driving to Midas with the same car, and needless to say, it also had a starter problem, which I've subsequently fixed eventually. But we drove to Marburg. We went to go get some race fuel, because I said, no, it's a little bit hurt. Let me just now, even though I'm going to boost to 0.4, we'll just make sure it's safe, because it wasn't smoking, you know. It was just a little bit of smoke from the breather. Well, that little bit of smoke, I mean, you can see that little bit of smoke, and I've been driving this car, so you can see that's what damage was done, and it's been driving still. And yes, it consumed a little bit of oil. I knew it was hurt. I knew it was hurt, but you know, I was so excited that I was finally getting to floor the thing. And when I did floor it, let me tell you, this street over here, from VW up to my shop, over the years, I've been in so many different cars coming up the street. You know, you go drive down the street, you turn around at the bottom, and then you test it on the way back. And let me tell you what, this car here that I've complained about so much and I've had so much issues with, it was flying. So it was flying so much so that Keith was even saying to me, no, whoa, let's just go back to the shop. And I still said to him, no, let's go one more round. And I think it's probably on that one more round that that's when we actually hurt the motor. So inevitably, as you can see, I have all the pistons lined up. I managed to find 6 OE pistons, so I just banged 2 in that were damaged. I honed the block, so we're just going to shove the pistons back in. I have sent the head in because from the time I bought this car, it always had a miss. You know, if you started in the morning, it would just miss for like a second or two. And then sometimes if you'd crank it, you could hear that it's like, gets like a high pitch. you know, and then it misses for a while, like, and you can almost hear it popping on the exhaust, like a valve that's not closing properly. So I sent the head in, and it does turn out that the valve heights are wrong. So we basically, with all of this car should make 280 on 0.5, because, you know, it wasn't performing right on a cylinder on that night because there was something wrong. And I mean, after that, still I've been driving it around, it hasn't lost power. It was still had power. I've been boosting it all over the place, you know. It hasn't been smoking clouds and stuff like that. I've been driving it. You see the videos I've been making, but only 0.4 bar. So now all the pieces are in place, you know. Hurting the motor unfortunately just happened. It's one of those things that happens when you build cars. Everyone can say, yeah, it was because of pump fuel in the car, first thing. Luckily, you know, for me, I can say at least I only been 2, because I really did have the timing and everything detuned, and it was rich. You know, I put my maps right up to make sure it was rich. So that was obviously just a detonation that it just hurt those 2 pistons. So for now, it's all going back together, at least going back together. I should get the head back next week, and then we can maybe put this one back together. But I've decided that it must run E85, because I'm not getting the benefit of having all the power if you can't use it because you're running pump fuel. And this thing is so heavy on fuel in any case, so why not just leave it with E85 in it? Then I can have 1.5 bar boost all day long. So watch this space. I'm expecting 400 kilowatts. So if I can get 400 kilowatts on the wheels out of this car, then it will be, don't touch it again. That will be it for me. I don't have to go to 1,000 horsepower. I don't need 400 kilowatts on a VR6. You're probably going to make 700 Newton meters of torque. We're going to be ripping gearboxes and clutches. Then, you know, I'm going to have to start going next level. The clutch is going to start slipping. I know there's all these limitations that I'm going to start breaking. Remember, stock internal, stock block, stock clutch. You know, I'm just pushing the limits with an aftermarket 4,000 Rand fuel injection system, not with a Haltech. You know, using a dictator here. I'm still running the original system that controls the throttle. So yeah, real soon, you know, I'm going to get to it now after I finish this video. Hopefully I'm going to get those pistons in, and next week we'll be able to get it started again, and then back on the dyno with E85. So watch this space. Lekker guys, cheers.
Cheers.
Yes, we have. We can organize anything a customer wants. If you want a coffee and a milkshake and a wimpy, just say something, guys. I can have it delivered. Wimpy knows me by name. So when I phone, oh, is it Mike? Yes, Mike. Mike, yeah. So come visit me here. Look at my nice customer area. You can wait. Be comfortable. You're not sitting on the plastic stools. You're sitting in a nice, comfortable place. There's even a nice breeze here. You can look upon the town, you know. So come visit me here at Redline. Why not?
Even just to check.
Even just to say hello, yeah. Even just to say hello.
Where is this thing?
Okay. Ooh.